It's his birthday. He's allowed to be.
Good evening, Super League fans. You're allowed to be impatient, Palmer. It's your birthday, so congratulations. Thank you very much to everyone for joining. And we've got Tim with us here in the virtual studio. Good evening, Tim.
Hello.
Looking forward to tonight's action. You're up last. We're saving the co-commentator till last, but plenty of games to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm. I'm looking forward to a few of the fixtures tonight. I'm specifically Bolton Churchtown. That should be a cracker, especially after seeing Kieran's tactics.
Hmm.
Mm,
He's going quite
he's going for it. Yeah.
he's definitely going for it. We'll have a chat about the games as they come up. But if you start off by having a quick look at the table, oh, that's the away record. That's maybe interesting anyway to consider in Churchtown or away and just to see how good they've been at home. But either way, just a quick look at the table before we start the show. Don't think there's much point in going over the results from Wednesday. They should be fresh in everyone's memory. The top two, how do you see that? Do you think Bolton are going to hold on, or are the Swedes still in with a shout of claiming that top spot?
Um, Valen have been holding on a little bit last few games, haven't they? They've just been scraping things, and then they've gone and got beat. Whereas Bolton just go from strength to strength. Really, his performance at the start of the year were not. They didn't tie up with his results. He was playing a lot better than sides, and then now everything's going tickety boo.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, there's
he's done well.
something that's easy to forget that actually, if you look at the first, say, 6, 7 games that Bolton played, they kind of they had more chances than other teams. They were
Mm,
not completely dominant, but they definitely were in with a good shout in all of those games. So and it seems as if it's just obviously found that form and the confidence level of the players are definitely making a big difference for them as well.
mm,
Churchtown, although with a win here, they could close the gap to 3 points on Bolton, but it's a
yeah.
big ask for them tonight, isn't it?
I will say that Kieran Kieran probably has got a better chance than anyone of beating Bolton because
Hmm.
he seems to pick up those points away from home better than anyone else,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
they've been
he
a
doesn't seem to mind trying absolutely anything. And
yeah,
maybe
and
that's what you need.
maybe. I mean, there's definitely goals in his side. I think that was a bit of a criticism that was kind of maybe made at Churchtown early on in the season that they had a good defensive record and they didn't score
Mm.
that many goals. But after Barry Ferguson really started to pick up some form, I think it's his 12 or 13
Well, he was
assists
injured.
now.
He was injured for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, he was injured. He lost him and Davids at the same time. I think that
Hmm.
uh, put him back a little bit. But since they've come back, like you say, Ferguson's massive.
Yeah, really, really big impact there for Churchtown and their results. And then we've got an exciting battle, obviously, and that's the one we've got up first this evening is the Aston Athletic against Panathinaikos.
Mm.
Um, did you, before the hand on heart, before the start of the season, did you expect to see Astra and Parma battling out for fourth with 4 or 5 games to go?
Um, I can't remember what I said at the start of the year. I don't think I'd said Palmer would struggle as much as other people did,
Hmm.
but I don't think I tipped him for being this high up either. So, but I think we all said about Alf after the way he finished the last version of the league.
Hmm.
It was more of a shock after the start he had that he went downhill a bit for me.
Yeah, went on a mad run after the first, I think 7 or 8
Mm.
games. He went pretty much unbeaten, and then after that, he had a really a lull in the in terms of results. But it seems as if with his new tactic now as well is helping out
Mm.
closing that gap from Lee Boyer that he was definitely missing for a long period, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think that one player, especially when you got Emerson as
Mm,
like your backup MC. I don't think we can blame that. I think it's more a case of, like you've always said, Alf never really does much with his player instructions.
mm-hmm,
So maybe that is near is I think his formation now is near enough one of the set ones in the game. So they will all be doing their player instructions as they more or less should be, rather than when you've pulled everyone inside and done this, that, and the other, and not done anything with the player instructions. They're all doing things that are alien to the position.
Yeah, you end up with forward runs on players that have no business going anywhere, and zonal marking where you should maybe be man marking and things like that. That's true actually. So yeah, I mean, and it seems to have. I mean, it's definitely worked well for him. So it'll be a big test tonight to see if Palmer can break that one down with his one at the rear kind of defense there that he's sticking with now. It seems to be his. I mean, I remember when it was not a bit of a joke, but when he first introduced it, he was like, "Oh, I've got something crazy here." Now it's the one that's getting him the best results, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When we chat in DMs and everything, I said to him he needs to stick to one formation, and he finally did it. But I didn't think this is the one he'd actually stick with, the one at the back. He's superb. Can't fault it at all. And for some reason I just haven't even tried it on a home save or anything.
No, me neither.
So I wouldn't know where to start with it, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
Wouldn't know where to start with it.
Yeah, I don't make a habit of checking the individual player instructions, but if I was ever to attempt this one at home, I might have to have a look at how he's got that wall of the 5 defenders set up to actually do any marking. But well,
I'm gonna have to apologise. I've got a bit of a cough and a cold, so when it tickles, I might have to just cough and pop for everyone now.
That's all right. And then we get down to the not to the business end, but to the big battle that's going on at the moment. So there's 4 points from yourself in ninth up to Midlothian in sixth.
You've got Ardsley. I still even think Somerset, a couple of wins for Somerset with results going their way. I think they still could be involved. And I know it's a big ask, but honestly, you just don't know what's going to happen with this game. That's all this league this season.
No, especially.
I thought I had it sus 3 games ago. 1-2 on the bounce, beat Hodgson away, decent result at home, and then I've lost 3 on the bounce again. And it's like I just can't get my head around it.
Yeah,
honestly, can't get my head around it.
For the teams in that particular category that you mentioned there, all of you guys on 8 wins. I mean, there's 4 of you there, and then Ardsley on 7. It's been one of those seasons, hasn't it, where it's just been completely almost impossible to predict from week to week what's going to happen, isn't it? I mean, you can see there teams with 8-5-8, 2 teams with 8-5-8, yourself with an extra loss on there, and Midlothian with an extra draw. That's pretty much the difference, which is quite strange after so many games that it's been so unpredictable really for all of the sides. So
what I've got left to play after Ardsley tonight, I've still got Hooligans, Dragons, and Somerset, and Midlothian. They're my last 4 games, so at least I'm playing everyone round me. Just got to turn them into.
That's true. I mean, at least you're not. You can say at least you're not playing you've played all of the. You've played all the top 5 sides twice already. Oh yeah, well.
All those I've just got everyone around me now.
Right. Well, that's also a positive. That's a. I mean, I know they call it a 6-pointer. I mean, we shouldn't. We'll be saying nothing but 6-pointers for the rest of the evening if we start with that. But it is good if you can get those results against the teams that are around you. You can see tonight. I mean, Midlothian, Hooligans, and Hods. None of them play each other. So if they all win, then you're not gaining any ground on your nearest competitors because you're not playing any of them. So you're not making a difference there. Whereas your game with Ardsley tonight is really significant.
Massive. Well, it's massive for both of us. Like, if Hodgie can get a win, he's right in there, depending on results. And then, obviously, if we can get a win, we're back in there, depending on results. Jamie could get a win, right? And it's mad.
Yeah, and still 15. I mean, including tonight, 15 points to play for. Let's have a look here. Alf says that Tim for the playoffs with those fixtures. So you've got one guy rooting for you out there already.
Not that confident. Alf's been saying it all season. I think that's what's doing me in.
we'll see how it goes with the results tonight, obviously, and then finally down at the bottom. I mean, um, you've already included Dragons and Sloth sort of in that kind of mid-table battle there.
Mm.
BTEC and Swindon. Of course, BTEC plays Sloths and could go above them with a win at home tonight, and Swindon at the bottom. 5 yet to find a winning formation, although it has been a little bit better recently, conceding less goals anyway than early
Mm.
on in the season.
Yeah. He keeps trying. He beat me at home. Absolutely champed me in that home game. So yeah, I've said it a million times. Not playing the game, I think, obviously it impedes you massively,
Mm.
massive impedes you. But it's been said and said and said. So there's nothing more you can say about it, really.
Well, if he keeps tinkering with the tactics and he stumbles upon one that works, because I can see the thought that goes into actually putting up the
Mhm.
tactics, but of course it's not easy when you don't have the opportunity to throw it through, like, say, 20 games or whatever in a save on an evening and see if it actually does
Yeah.
anything. So I know playing against AI is not the same as playing against other
Oh
human
no,
managers,
massively.
but there is some. I mean, you can see
There are,
it,
yeah.
regardless of what. If you put in, if you can't beat the computer with your tactic, then mhm,
No, it's a bad one.
it's not going to go far in the Super League, is it? But
No, I did try the old 4-4-2. Yeah, I just can't get used to it. I can't do anything with it. Absolutely nothing. You buy all the best players on the game, and I still don't think I can win with a 4-4-2.
I failed miserably. If for anyone who follows the Martin Plays CM Twitter account, you all saw my attempt at getting Fiorentina into the Serie A, and I think I lost out on promotion maybe 2 seasons in a row, and before
Mm.
they sacked me. And then out of interest, I put it on holiday and let it run a season just to see what happens with someone else in charge or with AI in charge, and I think they won the league by about 25 points.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because the squad I'd assembled wasn't any good. It was just that for me to play that 4-4-2, I don't know. It seems to work for the AI. They could get good results out of it, but for me to play with that 4-4-2, I
Well,
don't know.
it is exactly that because you've got Ferguson at the start when Man United plays 4-4-2. It's so hard to beat them.
Mhm.
Capello at Roma all the time 4-4-2,
Mhm.
and you know how good Roma are on the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've taken over both of those clubs and thought, right, I'm not going to sign anyone. I'm going to play the same formations. I'm just going to play 4-4-2, home and away, and it does nothing.
Been
You do
awful.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, so credit to Craig for giving it a bash in the Super
yeah,
League. I mean, I know he's put a couple of arrows on them, but we'll see if he has more luck with it tonight than he did. I think he got a draw time out, didn't he? Was
yeah,
it
he
a
did. Yeah,
1-1 last
luckily.
week? Yeah, so I think he's sticking to it, but we'll see when we get to the Hornets game, obviously how they line up.
Mm.
But yeah, let's have a look at tonight's fixtures. So we're not going with them in this order, so I'm not sure why I brought them up like this, but the people who follow the Twitter account will have seen them. We're starting with well, we are starting at the top actually because we are starting with Astra and Parmethanikos. So the birthday boy can go and have a birthday drink and enjoy the rest of his evening. And yeah, it's all part of the service. Um,
I
let's
think
see.
Paul will just probably have an early night if he gets beat.
Well, there is a chance of that, obviously. I've kind of been a little bit rushed off my feet with trying to play the 2 games in such short succession here recently. I mean, we're
Hmm.
trying to get this done by Easter, so if there's anything I've missed in the tactics or anything like that, then I do apologize in advance. I have tried to not screw anyone over this week. I can see that I have already done something here. This is not Alp's correct tactic. I don't think that's saved. Oh, maybe it has actually. Brooking up top. Oh, yeah, no, I think it has. I think it has. Apologies, everyone. Apologies. Panic over. I thought I'd screwed up the first one, but I think this one is correct. Otherwise, as I said, I do apologize again. The 2 games a week is a little bit ambitious, to be completely honest, with other commitments. Anyway, back to the game at hand. We already spoke a little bit about Alf's tactic here.
Mm.
As you mentioned, it kind of relies on a bit of a standard formation in the game, and you think that's been a key to Alf's recent improvement?
I think so. Yeah, honestly, because like we've been through, Alf doesn't really do anything with his player instructions. Just so once he's pulled, say he starts with a 4-4-2 and he's pulled everything central or whatever, those players are still stuck on the 4-4-2 instructions. So it probably was hindering him a little bit. But then, how do you say that when they went and won the first 7 games or whatever? It's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
difficult.
could try and figure it out all day long, and then something else would just come and scupper
And
everything that you've thought of anyway.
there's the morale form and the squad unhappiness, and I think Alf has been one of those guys who's had a problem with having to sell players because of the impact they had on morale, in the same way that you got Estebaria
Yeah.
from Churchtown. I think Alf had a problem with Bartes for sure, and I think someone else. I feel like there was another one.
The biggest problem with Bartes is he's absolutely shite.
Well, there is that, and you can't say fairer than what Jens Lehmann has done his performance for since he came in. I mean, 10 games, conceded 11, 770 average. That's it's not quite as good as the keepers that we saw in the last version of the Super League, getting 8s across the board, but still 7.7. You'd take that from
I'd
a keeper,
love
wouldn't
that. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you are probably also the maybe the guy with. I mean, I think who has Abia? Oh, that was I was going to say you probably have one of the worst keeper lineups as well. But I forgot that BTEC had to play Abiati the first 13 games of the season. But
Yeah, it's another one of those things, isn't it? I mean, I'm doing first time I've done a Coventry save, and you've got Magnus Hedman, and you look at some of his stats, and he should be absolutely unbelievable. And I've had to sell him for his 4s and 5s. It's just with the goalkeepers, I just think it's toss a coin with a goalkeeper.
Yeah, and it's not so much
Honestly,
it could be in the hidden stats. What is Ian's asking a question. What is it with the bar thing? It's part of a new setup using. Was wondering what's its purpose. Well, there is a sponsor kind of thing. Then there is the chat over on the side, and then the YouTube counter in the top right hand corner should show how many people are watching simultaneously. But it says 0 on mine, so maybe it's not really working. But either way, and the bar on the right is just the chat. Yeah, Ian. Okay. Anyway, Palmer's formation. It's one at the rear. So we've got Cannavaro there, Nicky Butt that he brought in from from Ardsley, didn't he? Swapped
yeah,
him
good signing.
with
Good signing.
Okoronkwo. I think he's done pretty well since he came in, Nicky Butt.
Yeah, he's good. I like him in the central of the 3. If I ever buy him, he's good in that central spot. Yeah, I like him.
7-7 average, 3 assists in 7 games. I think he had a red
Yeah.
card though in the one where he got a 6, but apart from that, he's been pretty brilliant for Palmer.
I'm gonna do the old commentator's curse here, and he'll get a 9 or a 10 or something. But I've never liked Ashley Lythe as a DMC. I always play him as a centre half.
Right.
And I prefer him as a centre half. But here we go. He'll get a 10 and 2 assists and 4 goals or something now.
There is that when you're looking at it and you go, Ashley Lythe, and you've got Oliver Dacour on the bench.
Yeah.
Is this
And Mario
really?
Melcho's had a really good game last game, didn't he, or something?
Yeah,
Or a couple of games ago.
He came in for Salihamidzic, I think, and but he's back on the bench. Niki Farin goes out, so Karagounis is starting. Is that someone you rate, Karagounis?
Yes. We did have a deal involved before next season, before he decided to leave for Karagounis, straight swap for Comandini. But
that's true.
Yeah, I do like him, and I was after an AMC. I'm literally trying everything now, so I'll take anything.
We'll see. I mean, Estebaria, to be fair to him, when you first signed him, he had a cracking first 2 or 3 games, didn't he?
Yeah, he's dropped off a little bit now, but I think everybody has.
We'll see how that goes when we get back to your game later on this evening. But first up, we've got Panathinaikos at Asta. It's obviously the battle for 4th as it stands at the moment. Your prediction on this one, apart from Ashley Lythe as a double goal scorer?
I've score draw. I'll say score draw. Yeah.
Fair point. I can see there's requests for Bosco Balaban to score again. We'll kick it off and we'll see if the big man comes up trumps again as he did last week. Oh, so it's a good start for Asta Athletic there for sure. A couple of good chances for them early on. But you can't keep a good man down. Ebisand is is in with a goal early on for Panathinaikos, taking the lead there. Yellow card for Ashley Lythe. So he is doing something.
Yeah, it's getting involved.
Another yellow there. I'm not sure if we've got a strict referee on this one, but there's been a couple of them. Oh, someone eyeballed someone. That could have been a red in different circumstances.
I think they had a good few chances towards the end there.
Yeah, definitely looked like it. It looked as if in general they probably had they definitely had the most of the first half. 8 shots, 7 on target, so a decent goalkeeping performance down at the Parma end for sure.
Paul Robinson.
Let's have a look. Yeah, Paul Robinson.
Finally,
finally, I think I looked back through the requests and the lineups and things like that, and I think Palmer asked on the 23rd of January, whatever round that was. Palmer asked if I could swap Dieter for Robinson, and I didn't, and none of us noticed until last week. So, but yeah, he's getting a 9. He's doing well. Ashley Lythe is.
I do like Paul Robinson. I really like him. Very underrated.
Yeah, and your comments about Ashley Lythe are fair as well. I mean, whether he could be performing a little bit better. I mean, a 6 and a yellow card. That's a tricky one. Balaban getting warmed up by the comments. He's on a 6 so far. Ibisand, is that him back on? Yeah, that's him on 16. So he's back in on top of the goal scoring charts with Robbie Keane. So we'll see.
I know. Yeah, that's mental. That is.
We'll see if Rossini can catch them later on this evening. So lots of chances for Alf, but poor stats from his players,
not great,
poor
is it?
Biscan, standout player in the first half.
Yeah, by the looks of it. For him, yeah. It's weird, isn't it? They've absolutely battered him, yet no one's really pulling up trees at all.
No, not at all. Seems maybe just a few attempts from distance or something like that. But either way, Paul Robinson's been equal to them so far. We'll kick off the second half and see. I think Alf's going to need an early goal if he's going to break down the Great Wall of Parma. But he says he can't breathe, so we better kick it off so we don't lose him.
No, hold it. See how long he can hold it.
we can't risk losing him on his birthday. That'll be tragic. And see if we get anything from Karagunis and Joka. It's funny considering how many. I suppose it's in a slightly later version of the game that all the Greeks and Cypriots are completely overrated, but we don't have that many Greeks in the Super League.
No, there's
one of them.
Yeah, no, great result for Parma.
Yeah, if he can,
he'll be windmilling around the living room.
That's a definite statement from Panathinaikos there, winning away from home as well. Astor is not the easiest place to visit, definitely. And another victory for one at the Ria, and probably much better performance from
he's coming, yeah.
Much better second half. Wow.
Yeah.
We'll have a look and see how that penalty came about. Obviously not what Alf was hoping for at all. We're scrolling down feverishly here. Ayala onto Balaban, although he didn't get on the score sheet, he did win a penalty. Ayala jumped unfairly with Balaban. Ayala maybe a bit of a liability in that central defence, but he's a good defender, but I don't think
it's a bit harsh though. It's a very harsh one, isn't it? Do you think?
Jumping unfairly.
Wow. What's he done? I don't know. Parma's paying off the refs nowadays. I think it's come full circle. He was whinging about them at the start of the year, and now he's getting all the decisions in most games, isn't he?
That's maybe why we haven't heard much from Half and Half podcast. They've abandoned the Swedish Barcelona and they've gone with Panathinaikos. Maybe he's getting too many of these sympathy votes after announcing his resignation at the end of the season, probably. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yep. And Jens Lehmann still getting man of the match and a 9 after that second half performance. Looks like
Biscan stayed high as well. Biscan played well. Won every header he went up for.
Definitely. definitely impressive performance for him. It is tricky, that one, because you can sometimes see. I mean, I know we spoke about it. There isn't really a pattern here, but sometimes you see the kind of the wide against the narrow, or the two narrows against each other, like
Mm.
canceling each other out, or one taking advantage of the other. But this Panathinaikos formation one at the rear, it's kind of difficult for both types of formations to be up against, I think. So perhaps that's what served him well. Juninho Paulista, a flop. Well, you said, Alf, that he could either be brilliant or he could be not so great. I think is what you mentioned, that he could be a game winner, but not tonight. He wasn't. Yeah, good result for Parma, and that should. I mean, mathematically, we can still speak about it, but that's playoffs
I think
for
he's in now. Yeah,
that's
he's
playoffs for
properly,
Parma,
and
isn't it?
he should be having a look. He wants to hope that Churchtown get a result against. No, what would he prefer? I think he'd want Bolton to win tonight, wouldn't he? Bolton to pull away, and then he might be able to push himself towards that second spot now.
So you could get third or even second. Yeah,
Second,
that's
yeah,
true.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I think there's
Who
also
have Alan
some.
got tonight?
Valen are at home to Hooligans tonight, which is,
Oh. Mm.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Hooligans have not
Sligo had a
been.
good result last week, but
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, great result for Parma. Not so good news for Alf, who was on a good run with his new formation. So we'll see if he sticks with that, or if he changes his mind for next week. Next up, we've got Hoddesdon Hornets against the Dragons. Let's have a look. And yeah, Craig is sticking with
I'm
his.
with it. I did notice the other day. He doesn't usually put his team up that early, but he's decided to drop Sigalko and Batistuta. I saw, didn't he?
Yeah,
So big
but
call.
Stuta not even on the bench, and
No,
it's a tough one. I think we had a discussion the last time that Hornets dropped Batistuta, and Ryan and I, or me and someone else, agreed that Batistuta should always be the first name on the team sheet. But it looks as if he's fallen out of favor again, after
yeah,
some a little bit lackluster performances.
I do. The thing is, the three Luca Toni is a really good striker, but I it's just my preference. But I always find an out and out striker plays better as a one.
Mm.
I've just found that's why I always play one up top when I've got an out and out striker. Just that's that's my feelings towards it. You can't really base Luca Toni's stats on much because he played against a load of
Yeah. I was going to say he's got
yeah.
in the league he has 3 games and 2 goals, but I think he had
I
two
think they
goals
were
in his
both against
debut, and
me.
then
Yeah, they were
yeah,
both against me
yeah,
when we
and
beat them that day.
then
So
didn't do anything else. But I
no,
was thinking I was thinking maybe stats wise, and I think you're right actually. When you've got these kind of big strikers that have the big stamina, strength, work rate, heading,
mm,
high finishing, I mean they don't thrive on having other people around them, do they really? So
no, I found yeah, it's just it's personal preference, isn't it? But it's like he's been saying about he can't really get the best out of Sigalko, but he can play in a two. But as a one, obviously everyone's seen what happens when you play him against the AI. But
hmm
I've never had him on in the league, so I wouldn't know if it would work that way. But I think he's better as a one, and
Yeah, I mean, there could
he
even be
could
an
do a lot
argument.
more.
Could be an argument for him to play with one up top in a kind of similar formation to the one with the two AMCs that Ryan has, or even
Mm,
with the kind of Palmer one with a line kind of behind him, or even in your formation, and then swap at halftime, put Sigalko on at
mm,
halftime or something like that. Get the best out of both of them. But we'll see. We'll see. He's got Etu up there. Etu seems to have found some form, although mainly for midfield. But he's been
mm.
pretty decent for him as well. Neil Clement, the surprise for me that he's got like a
See, it's it.
huge average
See,
rating.
this is a massive thing for me as well. Playing like if I come across a defender left centre and I'm playing four at the back, I would never play him as a fullback.
No.
For me, if they're defence not and not DMC with it, they're always a centre half. Like Kufor as well, he'll be RC,
hmm
DRC, whereas he should. I can't play him. I've never had any joy. It's like I don't like single like Ashley Cole was a DL
hmm
and Puyol DR. I
hmm
would never go out and buy a player like that, even if he did play four at the back. I just don't. I don't think they're very good. It's like the same with an MR or an LR. Excuse me, an ML.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
don't, for some
No.
reason, those singular, and I just never ever got anything out of them in those positions.
I don't think there are that many good ones of them in the game, to be honest, as well. So that's maybe no part of it. But I definitely get what you're saying with DLs and DRs. I think probably because a lot of people utilize attacking fullbacks in the game as well.
Yeah,
Whether we
I
play
like
them
to have mine
as
as a DMR, like
Yeah,
obviously
whether you put them in the position or even if you play like with let's say a bit more of a narrower midfield,
arrow
and then
going up.
you
Yeah.
would put longer arrows on the fullbacks, you would still put them with would run with ball and crossing and all this kind of good
Mm.
stuff, wouldn't you? So maybe that's a part of it as well. But we'll see how it works out for Hoddesdon. He's obviously Craig's obviously putting his cards on the table and going and going with the
Mm.
standard CM formations, which you got to take your hat off to a guy who insists on doing that and risking it all here for his
Oh,
playoff spot.
I'd never go against anything Um, Craig, well, he's done wonders with the squad he's got. Put it that way. To still be battling it out for a playoff spot with that squad is,
With having to play even El Guerra for
yeah,
the best part of the
exactly.
season. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he has got a questionable squad at the back. I mean, I think he's got some fairly decent players going forward, and he's obviously got a couple of very good strikers. But that back line is not the strongest in the game for sure. Um, Someone else who's struggled to get uh, a tune out of a lot of his players. I mean, most spectacularly, his strikers have the way they failed is Jamie, because his defense has been really solid. Van der Meijde and whoever else he's tried on the right have not really done anything. And then he's had Giggs and Keane, who's kind of like
Yeah,
along with the three defensive. Even Guardiola has come in and played 750 down
yeah.
there. So Guardiola came in for NDI, I think he had playing there earlier in the season. Um, or gosh, who else did he have there? Kaladze,
Kaladze in there.
and he has
Yeah,
Tomasi as well. So
are they all injured or something?
I think they're both injured or suspended. Either way, they're both out. Tomasi and Kaladze. I think they both got injured in the last game.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but he's got Shearer and Brosek, and just like I mean, Viduka's got one goal in 14, and I don't know if he's given up on him. Um, Alan
Uh,
Shearer's got none in 5 after he joined,
yeah,
and
that's
Brosek
great.
has 1 in 8.
Yeah. Brožek, I think it's been said by a lot of the co-coms, is more second, third, fourth season going onwards from there. It's a big ask for him early doors, I think. Shearer, I'm shocked at, because first season he's more or less unplayable. He's absolutely, but then again, I play him as a one again.
Mm.
So it's, yeah, right. If it weren't for Robbie Keane and Giggs, I think he'd be up
It'd be,
shit creek, wouldn't
it'd be if not rock bottom, then at least close. I mean,
he? Yeah.
gigs
Well,
with
Giggs, people saying, "Oh, I can't believe he's playing so well back there at wing back." He can play across the park,
I
have
was gonna say,
centre midfield anyway. Look, his stats are unreal.
look at his stats. It doesn't when you have that many 20s, it
You
doesn't
can just
really
play him.
matter, does it? You know what I mean? Fair enough, his
The same
aggression and
as
his jumping isn't brilliant, but
Roberto. He can more or less play across the park, any position on that left side, through the middle.
hmm
Same Baumer, Zanetti on the right. He can play more or less anywhere.
yeah.
It's just one of those. He's just one of those players that you'll get a tune out of him anywhere you play him,
hmm And then he's obviously got Robbie Keane, who I
which
looked at
is
him at the
real.
beginning of the season and said, "Oh, his stats aren't really that good." I mean, he's not Robbie Keane of the he's Robbie Keane of this version of Chapman. The Robbie Keane of the one before was insane. This one is
Yeah, he
to
was good. He was the one before the 0001. He was an AMC FC,
hmm
like a lot of the players, like Brugink was as well. There's a lot that were so good on that one, and then they've been moved to just a forward centre this time on this version.
hmm
So, but yeah, um, it's pretty. It is, to be fair, it's not as. I'm shocked at how it's 16 and 17, but he is quite good on the game. To be fair, he's one of
Yeah, he
those
is,
you don't
and
think
he's got
much of.
he's got the stats in the same kind of like if you look at Sigalko and Nikiforenko like early on, he's got those
Pace.
20 acceleration,
Yeah,
20 agility, dribbling, finishing, 20 pace, good flair as well.
Off the
Work
ball's good.
rate. Yeah,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, we're not going to speak about Jamie's tactics because they are the same as they are every week. So there's
Every week. Yeah.
not really much to say there. But we'll kick this one off and see if the 4-4-2 will prevail or if Giggs and Keane turn up. In which case it's going to be a long one for Craig. We're already into it. How do you
Yeah.
see this one going?
I think I hate to go against Craig, but I can see Jamie nicking a tight one.
You've not got much confidence in the 4-4-2, have you?
No.
Can't blame you. He's been involved in a couple of low-scoring games as well. Has Jamie with the Dragons. If they set up to limit the other ones. Oh, there's Paul Scholes out of nowhere.
Scholesy, a bit of volley from a corner or something.
Yeah, well, he does like them spectacular, doesn't he? Including his tackles. Three shots, one on target, and that one went in. That's a bit unusual for Jamie to concede so easily, considering how many games they've been a little bit under the caution and soaked up a lot of pressure. But this one was. Let's see if it was from. Oh, that's just when the bar is that short, it's not been a good first half. Oh, it's a direct free kick from Paul Scholes.
There you go.
And a yellow
worldie.
Not much to say really.
Not good.
No.
Van Petter's getting a lot of the ball.
Yeah.
But not doing a lot with it.
Not really creating much. And up front is a familiar story, unfortunately, for the strikers. I mean, they're touching the ball a little bit more than they usually would. And Brosek's actually got 7, but they've not really done anything to it. So they're going to have to do something special to turn that around in the second half. Hornets, to be fair, not been much better, but a little bit. Gareth Southgate, is that someone do you think he's one of the few good players that were there in the defense from the beginning, or?
Looking at the passing stats, I think Craig might be playing long ball here, 4-4-2 long ball. Look, they've hardly touched it. Yeah. Look at Gareth Southgate gets the ball. How's he getting an 8 when he's only got like 33% passing?
He's completed three of his 9 passes. Yeah, it's not very impressive, is it?
I'll tell you what though, if he wins 1-0, he's not bothered. You're not bothered. Win's a win. I've said it from the very first CoCom that you asked me. People were saying it's a win's a win. Don't matter, just get it over the line.
I think he has gone back to the 1980s, Ian, there, or early 90s anyway.
He's put on the things. I've gone full Mike Bassett. He has.
He's gone back to when you were allowed. Look at the stats for Sebastian Frey. He's gone back to the days when you're allowed to pass the ball back to the keeper. Yeah. Frey has got the second most touches after Petrov.
That's it. Get the ball, wallop.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the walloping goes in the second half, but an interesting one from Craig, and we'll see if he can keep the pressure on and keep Dragons at bay in the second half. I mean, there is still, of course, Robbie Keane and Ryan Giggs to contend with, but
there you go. Look, Luke. Never go against Craig. I don't. There you go. Look.
I actually missed the substitution at the second. I'm going to have to apologize for Jamie. I missed the substitution at the second at the half time. I don't think it would have made a huge difference because both of his strikers he was asking to take one of the strikers off, but they actually both got 7. So I would have swapped Shearer for Viduka. So apologies for that, Jamie. I missed that, but to be fair, I don't think it would have.
It's 3-0, but it's not the best game you've ever seen on here, is it?
No, it wasn't. It was kind of like, it's weird. It was a little bit like the opposite of was it last week or the week before when Hodgie and Rob decided to go all out attack against each other. 5-3. And it was 5-3, and there was chances every 30 seconds. This one was a little bit of apart from the result. I mean, 3-0 is a dominant victory, but
but I can't imagine that Jamie's goalkeeper's covered himself in glory there. He must have borrowed one of mine.
A 6 for Carini, who's been pretty. I mean, he's been reliable all season.
He's been playing well. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it was the gusty wind. It's the gusty wind.
I'm
surprised Alf hasn't picked that one out already.
Dennis got involved, didn't he? Hurricane Dennis got involved.
Yeah, so I mean, not much to say. Commiserations to the Dragons with Robbie Keane not turning up. That's never going to be a good one for them if he's not there. And sevens for Bros
Right.
against Shiro, which was okay, but
He, Van Petter's touched the ball 50 times, Giovanni 52. I'd say that Craig's front or middle four didn't touch it that many times between them.
yeah, I mean they're probably no, they didn't. 32, 31, and 24. Gigs, no. I mean, it seems to be a bit of sideways passing going on there, maybe, or something like that. Because high completion rate as well. If you
Yeah,
look
it's
at Van Petter,
decent.
50 to 44, that's decent, isn't it? Plenty of tackles done for him as well, but he's still only getting a six.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and Giovanni,
that's
obviously,
harsh.
Giovanni not really, maybe not ideally suited for the position, but still putting in a decent performance. But yeah. Um, didn't work out for Jamie tonight with Giggs and
No,
Keane not turning up and 4-4-2 of the 4-4-2 dominating.
mental.
Who would have thought it? When did
Highest Petrov touched it 40 times.
Yeah,
So that's
that's his
it's
highest
yeah.
highest
He's
number
gone
of
for it. It's
touches.
gone like he's saying. He's going to gammon his way into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely putting a lot of pressure. So that was the first one of our chasing pack guys. So this puts
Yeah,
pressure on Midlothian and
Bulls,
yourself, hooligans,
Bulls. Yeah,
to pick up a win as well. And it obviously puts pressure on Alf as well if all those teams behind him are winning after his loss against Parma. But we'll see what happens next. Next up we've got BTEC against Sloths. So this is obviously the battle for 12th. Will it be the battle for? Oh, Sloths have an away kit. I forgot about that. Oh, not sure if I've seen that before. Anyway, so this is the
no,
battle.
didn't he have it? I'm sure he played in that last week or midweek because you mentioned it midweek as well.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Uh, could have done. It's it's round 22. It's round
yeah.
22, Tim. These
So the
are
show's
starting
just
to.
moulding into one another, isn't it now?
It is a little bit. I mean, there's a lot to be said for us maybe picking up the pace a little bit, but it does have when we only play once a week, it does have that advantage that it doesn't
Mm,
seem like a home save. Yeah, it seems a little bit more like an actual
league,
season. But
yeah.
and I can kind of distinguish them now, having done I think Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. I'm like, yeah, it's all the same to me now. But I try to keep on top of stuff. So BTEC hoping to overtake Sloths, and Sloths obviously hoping not to be overtaken by BTEC. So this is Ian's formation for tonight. I think he's struggling for players, to be honest. On that left hand side, Agahawa is now playing the left back
Mm.
after Lee Yong Pyo was quite vocal about what he thought of his manager's performance.
Yeah, he's not really got a good excuse me run out of PO, but I like him. I like I really do like him. So I
Yes,
saw I did yeah, he did get a 4 in the week, so you don't usually play him, but it's a great squad.
yeah, it's a lot
It's a
of
really good squad.
a lot
I'd
of
probably go
positives.
Danielson down for Agahoa if he was going to do it like that,
Mm.
but with him being a bit older, a bit more experienced. But yeah, great squad.
Yeah, and some surprises in there that just didn't work out. I mean, we mentioned Lee Young Pyo already being unhappy. I think he's got Ashley Cole, but he's in the unhappy camp as well. Johan Vogel, who's obviously famously the worst player in the Super League.
That's crazy. That is.
It's
That is
it's
crazy.
because his
That
stats
is
aren't
so bad. He's so good.
his stats aren't that bad. So I have no idea
It's
what the
no,
what
he's so good.
it's a
Really good.
It's a difficult one, but yeah, and the comments are obviously filling up with things like that. How's the squad second bottom? I really like Ian's squad. I like Ian's squad a lot. So, but next season for BTEC, is it a morale thing now, and he just needs to get off for a good start next year because he has got.
Honestly, I don't know because some of the deals he's got coming in as well with Alf
Hmm.
is crazy. So he's going to have even more quality in there. So
Hmm.
no, I don't know. You can't fathom it, can you? It's just one of those things.
It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, but we'll see if he gets a home. To be fair, their home form has been quite good. BTEC. I think it's the fact that he's lost every single away game
Right,
that's
yeah.
been his kind of Achilles heel. The home form has not been too bad. Sloth's a little bit unpredictable, but
He's gone back
Rob
to that
is
formation he
has
likes,
gone back
hasn't
to
he?
that one that worked really well
Yeah.
for him. And Landon Donovan, I don't think I've ever owned Landon Donovan in a
He's
save,
yeah.
but he's had a good start,
He's
hasn't he?
yeah. He's steady. Yeah. He's good. It doesn't usually. It usually comes over to Europe on your save, second, third season. So
Hmm.
you don't really see him, and his stats do actually get better than what they're up there now, and they're pretty special now. So yeah, he's decent.
Yeah, it's just someone that I mean, I don't think many people normally pick up in their own games. I don't recall buying many players from America at any point
There's only a
in
couple in
my
there.
games.
Eddie Pope's not one of them you want to buy anyway.
Mm.
Don't know how he's managed to end up in the Super League.
Well, it's Palmer seems to like him. I don't know. He also has Marvin Andrews, if that's another one you if you'd question his credentials.
Yeah.
A
Well, I've
bit.
not. He don't like him that much. I'd see playing one at the back, wouldn't he?
No, I don't think.
Guarantee if Cannavaro gets injured, he ain't playing Eddie Pope as one in the back.
Well, probably. I did show the squad to Chris, who's obviously taken over from from Palmer, and he was like, and he said, I'm kind of looking at maybe strengthening defense as well. And I was like, what are you talking about? You've got Eddie Pope and Marvin Andrews, Big Marv, come on. And he's like, well, let me see your stats, and I sent him a screenshot of his stats, and he's like, is that his actual pace? You haven't
That's
edited it.
the thing is, it's crazy. It's crazy some of the because there are some defenders out there. I'm not going to start mentioning names in case people jump on it and try and get them at the end of the season who I'm
Mhm.
after. But there are defenders out there who are I can't believe they've been left out compared to Eddie Pope and Marvin
And
Andrews and
Marvin Andrews.
Bobo
Yeah.
Bolde and places like people like that. It's mind boggling.
It is a
And
little bit.
to be honest, I can be partly to blame because I did help put the shortlist up, but I only came in late. That's my excuse. I came in late after Palmer had already sent most of them over.
And we had to come up with things at short notice. But people have kept these people in the league. Yeah, remember there's a list of almost 100 players. I think we had 440
Yeah,
in total, and there's only 336 or whatever in the league. I think there's almost 100 players that we looked at and went, nope, I'm taking Marvin
discard
Andrews
this.
over
Yeah.
this guy. Dennis
Yeah.
Bergkamp and people like that. What would you need Dennis
Well,
Bergkamp? Dennis
Burkett,
Bergkamp's
yeah,
not in the
but it's
league, is he?
just if what you're looking at there is it's like in your home saves and everything. You've got to look for short term. Yeah, great, but if you play in this league, say you want to run it for 3 or 4 seasons,
Yeah, yeah.
Bergkamp's no good to you, and then you're trying to get rid of him, and you can't get him off the wages, and it's
Hmm.
one of them, and then he's taking up a space for you in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
24-man squad as it is. So I agree with some of the ones that get let go,
Hmm.
but others,
Well, it's not so much.
no.
Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, over the summer, as you mentioned, Ian is strengthening, and Rob seems to have found some form at least with this
Yeah,
formation. So, your predictions for this one: BTEC continue
high scoring home win.
high scoring home win.
Yeah,
I think Ian will
I
take
haven't
that.
got any right so far, so
But
I'm 0 for 2.
we'll see if it we'll see if it turns around here. Oh, we'll change that. I've been playing around with a few things. Um, a good start for Sloths. I mean, they seem to have the most of it so far.
Yeah. Well,
Bag, obviously.
it's going to be an away win, 1-0 because I've said it's a high scoring home win.
True.
Well,
Well,
here we
it's not
go.
because there's Edilson, someone that was picked up from outside of the league. Oh, and there's Den Edilson. Two Brazilians dominating in that attacking midfield role there.
Yeah,
That's a good first half for BTEC, isn't it?
yeah. But like you said, his home form isn't awful. It's just picking up points on the road, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just one.
That's he's really struggled there. Um, let's have a look and see how the goals came about. Picked up a loose ball. That's promising.
Header by Denilson. You don't
Headed
see him.
by Danielson. Yeah. I mean, Edilson, as Kieran points out in the comments there, Edilson has been a good signing for him. I mean, I think he paid quite a lot of money for him, and he is from outside of the league, and
Yeah,
he is 30. But
30. Yeah, I've never signed him. Never even come across him, to be honest. So quality
from
signing out there.
from Flamingo of
Is
all
it one of the ones
places.
you flagged up, or someone that Ian knew?
I can't remember. I think I might have. I think it might have been on one of the shortlists I put up, maybe of people who might do a job in the Super League. Of course, it's a little bit sort of um, it's a little bit out of the ordinary to bring up a 30-year-old, but yeah, this it's he seems to have done well since he's coming in.
It is one of those though. Ever since the start of the game, I wouldn't have come across him because of his age. I
Hmm.
don't look. I like to sign that between 19 and 25-year-olds
Yeah,
if I can,
if you do the search
because
filter, definitely.
try and build teams and that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
he's someone that I'll
you,
keep an eye on in
you'll have to
my saves now. Anyway,
you'll have to keep an eye out for him. Taibi not had the best of games so far.
not the best of players. I
Nah.
was that David Dye's not usually, how would you pronounce that?
Day.
Day. He's usually pretty steady.
I was
To
gonna
be fair,
say, there's a promising looking keeper. I
decent.
mean, 11 reflexes, maybe not the best, but good handling, good
I like bravery,
jumping and stuff.
keeper. Decisions, high on decisions.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Determination as well, work rate, teamwork.
mm,
So yeah, pretty decent. I don't know how Taibi compares. Better reflexes, and I mean maybe his goalkeeping, like on the face of it, his goalkeeping stats are slightly better. But
five,
as you said,
6, 6. So it's
sorry.
not great. He's gone 5.66 in his form, and he won't
Mm,
be getting much more than a 6 today.
no, probably not.
No,
Probably not. But as you said in the beginning, with the goalkeepers, it seems like a bit of a you just toss a coin, and then in this save they're
yeah.
good, and then in the next one they might not be.
It's like Buffon wasn't doing much. That's why he got rid, wasn't it, with the big bid? So
Yeah, definitely
it's,
he got him in. And he wasn't doing anything. Um,
that's what I mean. He wasn't doing great for him, was he?
no, he had a 7 and conceded a bunch of goals, and he's near enough an 8 average for BTEC. So yeah, it's just how it happens. We'll kick off the second half, and we'll see if BTEC can find a way back into this one, or if Slots can hold on, or if Slots can find a way back into it, or if BTEC can hold on rather.
Here we
Oh,
go.
Christian Burns of all people. Shouldn't after that first half performance, they shouldn't really be losing this one, BTEC, should they?
No,
In the end, they didn't. It was a bit of a quiet second half, but I think Ian will take that and the 3 points.
definitely.
Uh,
Nothing really much happened that second half.
Not much happened in the second half. Christian Burns presumably a header from something. I went for the follow up after a Rivaldo free kick. A little bit better performance from some of the Sloth players in the second half, but
Doing great.
I mean, he's down in 13th now, and Ian overtaking him. So at least you had a little bit of a commentator's curse because you said you'd played
I said,
Danielson.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, there you go.
So Agawa gets an assist and Danielson gets a goal in the positions that they were in. Perhaps a little bit
Adilson was
fortunate.
the main man, though. Adilson was the main man. Everything seemed to go through him, didn't it? With the 5 shots, 3 on target, assist as well. Good
Yeah,
game.
and even a little bit selfish. I mean, not Martin Palermo not getting much of a look in there, not even a
No,
single
not
shot.
shot. No, held the ball up well.
Yeah, so it definitely did a job. Simon Davies coming in that midfield. I think can't remember who he's replacing, but he didn't do particularly well. 6 average. I mean, he's going to take the win and not worry too much about the fact that Simon Davies hasn't played particularly well, considering that the rest of the guys did a decent enough job, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe not the most dominant home performance, but 3 points on the board and away from 13th position and that kind of real bottom area there. So yeah. Um, let's have a quick look. So annoying that the second half has not even started here yet. I don't know what's happening with the internet over in Edinburgh, but uh, I don't know. I can't fix that
uh,
unfortunately. Do say you travel
Rob
back in
does
time sometimes when you go
Rob does
somewhere
make me giggle.
when your
Rob
broadband
makes you
runs.
giggle, doesn't
Yeah, well, it's
he?
I can't say anything because they obviously live north of the border as well. But I'm on the west coast. Maybe things are just a little bit, I don't know, more advanced over here. Edinburgh, they seem to keeping it old school for the tourists, maybe with the 3G and whatever. Next up, we've got Swindon. I think let's have a quick look here. Yes, Swindon against Midlothian. Oh, that's a shame for that's a shame for Ian if he's behind. Then he's gonna have to turn off the comments because
Yeah.
we're gonna be chatting away about this one, aren't we? Yeah, if you don't want any spoilers, Ian, now's the time to turn off your laptop or whatever it is you're on.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but he won't be hearing you. You'll have to type it and tell him.
true. Oh
Excuse me.
gosh, right. We'll leave it as it is. I'm sure he'll work it out himself. Swindon, new tactic. Let's have a quick look at that
Another
one.
new tactic.
Yeah.
Oh
So
no, this is the one he's been playing, isn't it? Is it not? Is
he
it?
pulled he played 3 at the top last week, but he's pulled
Oh right,
Elmander
okay.
back.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, considering that Zidane got a 9, and I think was he man of the match or something like that. He got a 9 anyway. But he's taken the arrow off Zidane and pulled Elmander back.
Wasn't he pushing forward on that game then? Into
Yeah.
AMC?
So the last one he had Elmander was effectively the central striker, and he had an arrow forward on Zidane. So he's changed that up a little bit. Apart from that, I think it's Inzaghi starting. He was starting last week, so Tomadera is out. So it's Elmander that's coming in.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda's not great. I think a lot of people have said that in the past, but there you go. He scores 2.
yeah.
um,
I think it was the one that Fife was referring to when he said someone was coming in and getting a second chance. Not entirely. I mean, he has.
Yeah. You say that he's got, but yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see what he does. We'll see if Elmander comes up with the goods.
Wow. Some arrows.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a combination of hooligans, isn't it? With that arrow on Kellstrom.
Well, it's what Valen plays, but Karlstrom doesn't push forward, does he?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a difference. And obviously he
Would
hasn't
you?
got Cafu and.
Yeah, Cafu. Yeah, that's the main thing because I don't think Gattuso is much of a winger, is he?
Mm-hmm.
So, and Penza only on the bench. Is he only part fit or?
Part fit. Yeah, he's at
Yeah.
80 something fitness. I think there are instructions. I'll say it now so I don't forget at halftime. I need to look at the Impenza at halftime, and I need to look at both sides at halftime for the
Right.
instructions. So I'll try and remember that. Kellstrom, season 1 player for you, or a bit later on?
Never.
A never player. Well, then.
No, I don't sign him. I don't see what. I've never seen what the big hoo-ha is with him. So there's another commentator's curse. But honestly, I've never. If I ever buy him, it's to make profit because obviously someone will come in and buy him. If you're a smaller club, you want to get a cheap option in and then sell on for 4 or 5 million more than what you paid for him. That's about the only time I ever buy him. Really, just don't see the big. But saying that, I used to do that with Kerr because I used to play a 4-1-3-2. Could never get anything out of an MC in those positions. So I used to do that with Kerr as well. And now I play that formation I play in my home saves anyway. You need an MC in that position.
Yeah.
So now he's become one of my favourite players on it. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe Kellstrom will be your new favorite, the AMC or striker replacement. But I mean, his stats are decent.
His stats are great, yeah. But it's another one of those, isn't it? Some people will get the absolute world out of a player. Other people can't. It's like Montella. Ryan loves Montella. The only time he ever scores is against me for Roma in the 90th minute.
Yeah, whereas he's gone up to. I mean, I was laughing when Ryan mentioned that he'd get in the top 5 for the top goal scorer of the year kind of tables. But if he continues like this, and then there's a decent chance for it. You could say Ryan's maybe spoiling his chances if he wins the league because then he doesn't get the extra games that the team who finishes third gets. But I think he'll probably take that.
You don't want those extra games. You do not want those extra games. The one time that I got to the final, luckily I finished top of the league, and then you just let everyone else mess about. in those horrible playoffs. You've still got to play in one against second side, but no, let everyone else muck about like that. You want to be in those top 2 spots if you can.
So you've identified already guaranteed goals from Elmander Kellström tonight.
Yeah,
Anyone else? Anyone else you think is going to get on the score sheet?
When you started going through all your bits and bobs and your transfers and you had back. Well, I did an Eastern save. I was talking to you about it, and only signed players from Eastern Europe. And that back is some player. I didn't realise. I've just signed him on my Nuremberg save. I did Nuremberg to show you the away colours, what my colours should have been this season. But and he's absolutely unreal for Nuremberg. He's keeping Nikiforenko out the side. He's absolutely unreal.
Ian was saying the same for his home save with him. That he's really made a huge impact.
I think he's got about 17 goals in 11 games or something like that. It's just unbelievable.
He's not really done that in the Super League so far, but we'll see if he gets a goal tonight. Now that we've called him out, then he'll give us a performance one way or the other. But we'll kick this one off and see what happens if Swindon can add to their 13, 14 points or whatever it is they have for the season, 13 I think, or if Midlothian can they've not won away yet, I don't think.
All I'm going to say is, come on, Fifey. I need a Fifey win here, just like Craig and
yeah, you definitely
Paul's Thiago, and we need a Fifey win.
You definitely do. Let's kick this one off. That's crazy anyway that Midlothian are 6th and they haven't won away from home all season.
But they are aren't they on a 6-game unbeaten run?
Yeah, they don't lose.
There's a lot of draws in there, wasn't there?
Yeah. The last 3 or 4 away games in a row they've lost.
Here we go. Look,
Kessman with the early goal for Midlothian. I mean, it seems sort of fairly even.
Yeah, yeah.
That was Elmander with one of those chances that we were.
Yeah, we knew he'd missed that.
He's got the second half to redeem. Oh,
here we go. Look, go on, son.
I was going to say
he was a good player.
He's got second half to redeem himself. He didn't take him that long. He only needed 45 minutes to get on the score sheet. So well done, Johan, for your first half performance. No one qualifies
just to answer Ryan's question. I have probably 15 saves on the go at the minute because I'm in one of those can't get into a save places. So I've got about 15 saves, all with about 2 seasons going on it.
Yeah, so I think we've all been in that situation. We're going to go, well, I'm definitely doing this. I'm definitely doing this. And then you kind of, I don't know, struggle with it for some reason. Here's another interesting formation, which seems to give the ball to 1 or 2 players and not very much to everyone else. A little bit like we saw Craig in the first game. That's Montero and Zidane passing it to each other.
But Craig's was mainly his centre halves, wasn't it? Oh no, his goalkeeper had a very high.
Yeah, true.
But Zidane's touching the ball a lot, unless a lot of the passes are being made centrally. Don't know.
It's just
rather than to the
I just thought they were low stats, and of course Echiok being the center of the 3 guys in the central defense, there's no one there for him to talk to or to play with. He's just kind of bypassed and hanging out by himself. Apart from that, I mean,
all shots on target though.
I was gonna say 5 shots for Swindon and 3 for Midlothian. I do have some instructions from Midlothian about some second half stuff. Hopefully it's not going to be too. This is going to be a risky one, but here we go. These are the instructions. So I think not that.
I don't think Kesman will want to be in there. I was about to say.
No, it was that one. So that's the halftime instruction to put the Kuhl in and risk Impensa in the second half. So we'll see how that works out for him. But obviously it's not gone well so far. And you did get a good one there. I mean, you pointed out that Gattuso's not a player who does something in.
Won't want to be running
position.
Out there, would he? He wants to be kicking people in the middle of the park rather than out on the wings.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he had the Doulage and Steven Gerrard. I think both of them are either injured or suspended, so I don't think he had much choice with sticking with his formation. What's Impensa's fitness? It's 82. So let's see.
That is a risk.
We'll see. Well, he's. Is
it a muscle injury or?
I can't remember what it was that was wrong with him. We can ask him. What's
So
wrong
look,
with you, mate? None. 80.
just
You can
not
see
back
in the
to
history,
fitness.
can't you? Bruised shin. A bruised
Uh,
shin. He'll run it off, no problem. Let's
yeah, I
see.
had loads of missed games for a bruised shin. Flipping heck.
Well, we'll see. Is a big risk, but you
No.
could see Kellstrom had a 6, so there's
Yeah.
nothing you could do there. We'll kick off the second half and see
Here we go.
if
Go on,
that's
Fivey. Wait. Oh, here we go. Look,
is wiping the floor with him.
Ian's going to be absolutely spitting. I've got one right. I've got one right. Get in there.
You've got
Kallstrom
one.
gone. Gattuso pants. Got one right.
We're gonna have to keep it kind of attacking like this. If he's gonna be in with a shout, we can't make too many.
You cut. He ain't got any attack. Well, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
I just kind of lined them up. That's the
Yeah.
basic instructions to not leave one side completely.
There we go. Look.
Right.
5 feet is going to be covered in man. Right this moment. Look, Amanda got it. Hat trick now.
Last minute goal for Amanda. No, he sticks with the 2.
No.
I mean, if
You've seen
yeah.
that? You've seen the GIF of the South Park. I don't know if it's the South Park teacher, but just sat there by the computer. That is 5 feet right now.
Yeah, that's probably a very accurate description. Only he doesn't have a computer, obviously, so he'll be sitting with his phone. But
Yeah,
either way, holy crap! 10 shots, 10 on target.
that's quality.
5
That
of them
yeah.
have gone in. I mean, Headman, I think he had a 6 at half time. That's gone down to a 5 now. That's not
Right.
good. That's not good at all. I mean, the rest of it kind of worked okay, but for some reason they just couldn't stop the shots.
No.
Who was in his defense? Addo and Novotny. I mean, usually he's got Hoffland and Klumpet down there. I mean, you
Yeah, I
think that
don't know
has
what
something to do
Hoffman's
with it?
done wrong, but
One of them's injured. I think he has low morale and he's been playing
right.
crap actually.
Well,
So
Addo's a DC DMC, so he's more of a. Well, he was playing better left wing, wasn't he? Wasn't
yeah,
he
he
playing
was
left
playing.
wing at the start of the season? He's
I
playing
think he
really well.
played in
So
the left side of a midfield, but he did have quite a lot of injuries to contend with after that Ballon game. But that's not gone well for him at all. And obviously with the red card for Gattuso as well was a second yellow, upended Zidane early on, and then he got sent off towards the end. Inzaghi was fouled by Gattuso.
holding him back.
Second yellow. Gattuso took an early bath, fair enough. And then it was obviously just a formality for superstars like Inzaghi and Kluivert to add to it. Yeah. So
Oh, sorry, I just read Ian's comment.
Still 0-0 on Ian's laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's goal is in Edinburgh.
Yeah, he thinks he's in with a chance at the minute.
Oh, that's bad news. He's going to be gutted with that, but I don't know what exactly happened there. I don't think that. I think there's something in those two formations, and obviously in the way that the Swindon players put those chances away. You can see that Ilmanda, Inzaghi, and Clover, every single shot hits a target, 10 out of 10. You don't see
Yeah,
that
top draw. Don't see it very often, no.
particularly often. So yeah.
Almanda. How much you want for Almanda, Ify?
Oh, he's never gonna sell him again after this. He's got a couple of years credit out of this performance, hasn't he? Zidane with another 9. Yeah, it's
Roberto, look. So Roberto getting a 10. Not had one of them, I don't think, for a while, has he?
Nope. 4 assists from 4 different people. So yeah, a good performance for Devils there. And
That was good.
and yeah, I'm not sure what went wrong for Midlothian. I mean, what was it at halftime? Was it 1-1 at halftime?
1-1, yeah.
Yeah,
And then 2 goals straight after half time, and that's it.
It's a tough one. So yeah, commiserations, Ian. That makes obviously a big difference for the playoff run with Hooligans winning. But 4 games still to play. You're still in with a shout. Fifey will is he gonna be happy with this for the rest of the season, or is he gonna hope to pick up a couple more?
Fifey's living on this now until the next season starts.
Yeah, That's let's hope for. I mean, I was the one last year, so I can't say anything. But I don't think it's great to have one side that's kind of really lacking so far
Mm.
behind. So fingers crossed for Fifey that this will be yet another turning point. But that this one might actually come good for him. So an interesting game anyway. Next up we've got we're going to well, I was going to say we're going to Sweden. Andreas is in America at the moment, but we're going to Sweden anyway to have a look at Valen United against Hooligans.
Right,
Um,
want Valen to win this one.
yeah, for
Feeling.
you, it should be a win for the Swedes, and this is what the formation sometimes looks like. The
Yeah.
same lineup as Midlothian, but without the arrow. Um, Disgraceful, the chairman ignoring my red card instructions. Yeah, but it was an entire book that you wrote, Ian. So if I missed something out, and I'm not entirely sure what difference it would have made, but I do apologize. As I said again, as you can see, I wasn't gonna bring it up. We can maybe do it at the end, but we're kind of running a little bit behind the schedule. We're going kind of like a little bit more basic with the instructions. I think I had to take your AMC off or something like that anyway, and I don't think it would have helped. But yeah, um, it will make it a little bit more simple, not because people are making too long or too difficult instructions, but because I'm forgetting them and ignoring them, and there's no point in me promising I'll do stuff and then not do it. So, but less said about that, the better. Valen United.
Yeah.
Shevchenko and Saviola, Totti, Fiore, Rui Costa. I mean, they were fancied by many, maybe 3 or 4 games ago. They were saying, oh, they're going to run away with it. I mean, not even Bolton can catch them, but they've had a couple of poor results recently.
Yeah, it's just the game as we love it, isn't it? You think that's it. One team's going to run away, and then they'll think he's getting a bit too big for his boots. Let's pull him back down. And one it hasn't happened to is the one who's got the biggest boots out of everyone, and that's Ryan. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Just one of those things. I think he'll still finish top two.
Hmm.
Just goes on one of those little rubbish runs for you that you can't turn back round.
Yeah.
But I think Valen will turn it back round. I'm talking some rubbish tonight. Yeah, he will be in the top two.
He'll
That
be in
is
the
what I
top two.
think. Yes.
And Hooligans, I
Oh.
mean, the shape is similar, but he's not
Mm,
got the arrows on Yakubu and Mendieta. He's got the one
no.
on Kennedy there. Um, struggling for goals, which is strange with the strikers that he has. Is this another one of the playing one up top with these kind of guys is more effective? Would you say that, or?
Ronaldo is just got all the stats, but he just doesn't score a ton of goals. I've always found he gets good averages, but he just don't score. It's like Raul. He don't score shed loads of goals, but his averages are always up there.
Hmm.
It's just one of those. I think I don't. I wouldn't go if like Ronaldo. He said, "Oh, Ronaldo's available." I didn't think straight. Oh, I want him. I want him.
Hmm.
It's just one of those that he just doesn't score a shed load of goals well, for someone who is the best player to have lived,
Yeah, I mean, certainly with his
in my opinion.
for anyone like us old enough to have seen him when he was his first season at Barcelona, and his certainly his first season at Inter as well. I mean, especially before the World Cup that didn't
Mm,
go particularly well. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a better player, certainly at that age category that he was in
yeah,
when he was at Barcelona and Inter in first 2 seasons there. It was quite spectacular and good on the game as well. But yet to find a lot of goals for Hooligans this season, and as you mentioned, then also yet to find
yeah.
really a good run of form for Hooligans in general. They've had some up and downs, and I think Anelka's already hit his
Oh, he's
his
getting a little bit upset, is he?
yeah, I think I think there are some issues there, but we'll see if he gets some games before the end of the season. But yeah, how do you see? I'm guessing you're hoping for a big Valen
I
victory.
could do with a Valen victory, yeah. That would be nice.
Hmm.
Fifey's done the business. Now it's up to Andreas to keep the pressure on, well, for himself as well, to keep the pressure on Ryan. Keep him.
Let's see.
Not that it really matters. As long as you top, like I say, as long as you top two, it doesn't really matter if you finish
Finish
first
one
in
or
the
two.
league stage or not.
True, because you're
So,
playing first anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you finish second,
So
then you play. I'll play through it again. I have done it once. I'll play through it again and see if I can work it out before we actually
yeah,
get to it. But let's kick this one off and see if Valen can get back to winning ways, or if Hooligans can pull one out of the bag here
yeah.
in Sweden. Uh, that's an early start,
Good
an early
start.
goal for the home side.
I didn't see Hooligans getting anything out of this game when it came up, but
Now I definitely don't see Hooligans getting anything out of this game, to be honest.
yeah, it could be a bad one.
They had one, I think was it the first game of the season? They lost 6-1 after
Yeah, didn't they
Solkjaer
go?
got
Yeah,
injured.
was it injury? Didn't they get a man sent off as well against Astor? Hoppy finally coming to the party.
I mean, he's leaving it late, but he's back. He's back on top form, isn't he? Six. That's Thiago's not going to like this. I can tell you that already. Thiago's not going to be. He's not going to be in a good
Still
mood
getting
when
a
he sees
6
this.
after conceding 4 goals though.
Yeah, that's a poor one. That's a poor one for Hooligans that first half.
Yeah, they're not getting many. Not yeah.
They've not had a corner. No
What are
free
the action?
kicks.
What are the action areas like? Yeah,
That's one-sided. I think is the word that we're looking for in this
yeah.
one. And Valen definitely
To
back in.
not being disrespectful, but after the defeat last week, this is kind of a ideal game, either Hooligans or us, and they've already played us, so it was an ideal game for Valen because we can't see goals for fun, really.
I was going to say, yeah, there's the two teams that really struggled with defensively, apart from Swindon, has been yourself and
Yeah,
Hooligans certainly of late anyway. So it was a bit of a nice back game to come back to for Valen here. Assists all over the park.
lovely stats, lovely figures there, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he said if Shevchenko plays as a 6, I have to take him off, but
No danger of that.
he's not in danger of that. No halftime instructions for Hooligans. Is it going to go proper Championship manager and be goalless in the
See,
second half, or?
that if you go back onto his stats, that is
Mhm.
proper Championship manager because Saviola's touched the ball 8 times. He's got an 8. Fair enough, he's got an assist, but Jesus.
8 passes, 50% of the completed, won a
Yeah.
header, although how Saviola won a header must have been unchallenged, and then he gets an assist and an 8.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
there you go.
Even the 7 for Lassisi is ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the actual scoreline does give a little bit of a boost to some of these numbers. You would have thought
And then,
so. I can't think of any other explanation for it, to be honest. So and no tackles.
I don't
They've
think they've had to.
they've
They've had the
hardly had
ball
to make
too
any
much.
tackles. Yeah.
They've had
Oh
the
well.
ball. In true Championship manager fashion, it'll probably finish 4-0.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. And that's my prediction as well. But we've been wrong before this evening, so that could happen
Yeah.
again. Kennedy has been on a fantastic goal scoring form recently, so he could get one back for Hooligans. If anyone, I think it's going to come
No,
from
they
him.
seem to be doing a bit more this half,
They might take.
making having a couple of shots. There you go. Look,
Oh,
10th goal.
chairman calls it, but
Oh, Sheva.
Shevchenko's re-establishing a four-goal lead. They had I think the first 20 minutes, Hooligans in the second half, Hooligans looked as
Yeah,
if
they
they.
had a few shots.
All right, well, that's the
Ronaldo.
end of Ronaldo then. For the
I wouldn't make us up there.
No, but he doesn't care as much about the he doesn't care about the Defoe's average or whoever it was I put on. So was it Defoe that came on? Yeah,
Yeah.
he could get a goal and get a 7. You see? No, you didn't. Oh, and
Oh, definitely won't make sub now.
no, you wouldn't. But
Oh,
I
look, he's
mean,
flying. Absolutely flying.
he's the only player who will be welcome at the barbecue tonight. I think
Yeah.
at the manager in the manager's headquarters there. Yeah, I mean, apart from
He's not
Kennedy,
got an amazing stats either, has he? And they don't get much better through the game either. He's
no.
another one where he's absolutely brilliant on the version before.
Hmm.
Firm on the version before, but yeah, can't argue with what he's doing.
So Valen back in contention for the title or for the first spot if Bolton fall at the hurdle tonight. Dominant performance from them. Hooligans with a poor defensive record in general and didn't really turn up tonight. I mean, apart from Kennedy, a couple of tens there. A good performance from Totti. We've been asking for that for a while now, and he gets 2 goals and an assist.
Andreas will be happy with that.
He'll definitely take that, and 8s for the rest of the squad.
I don't think he'll be pretending to put Totti and Shevchenko on the transfer list this week.
No, probably not. He's not the easiest person to have transfer negotiations with, is he? Hooligans, maybe the less said the better. I mean, Chiotti's saving about 50% of the shots.
5 still gets an 8. So
yeah, concedes 5 on 9
target.
shots.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah, I was going to say back to the drawing board, but I'm not sure that's the drawing board's going to help. It's going to be the the surgeon's table with all those injuries.
See how many people you can get out for the next game, isn't it?
I think Ronaldo's is a bad one. He's on 13 fitness, so that's a broken something.
Yeah.
Not a good one. Not a good one for Hooligans. We've got 2 more games coming up this evening, and we'll see very, very shortly if how this will affect the league table, because we've got Churchtown and Bolton coming up next.
Yeah.
If we have a look at the Bolton, so they're hoping to continue their now 16 game unbeaten run. It's not too bad, is it? I mean, they do have pretty good players, to be honest. I think maybe Bolton's, as we spoke about early on in the show, I think they had good performances but poor results early on. And then he put Sambrotta on the right wing back instead of Gary Neville.
Crazy that he's playing players in the right position and then they start winning. But no, I can't believe that he got Dede for absolutely nothing because someone was letting him go. That is unreal.
Yeah, that was a little bit unusual.
That was unreal. I couldn't believe it. And I was at work when it was all going on, and I come on and see that he'd been released and then picked up within about 12 seconds, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What? Who is letting that man go?"
Yeah, that was an odd one, to be honest. Dede, who's obviously, I mean, there's only Ryan Giggs really, who's and he's been poor the last 2 games. But apart from that, there's not really any competition for that left back spot, is there? Apart from Dede, with an 8 average and solid performance. Perhaps not as many goals and assists as some of his right-sided counterparts. So Sambrotta has obviously done very well. Estebaria did very well when he was playing on that right-hand side, but very solid. Apart from that, I mean, he's getting a tune out of pretty much all his players. I mean, Baron has had a pretty great season as well.
Yeah, it's just Raul, really, isn't it? I know he scored. Did he score in the last game? But he's not playing great, is he? You'd want more than 6 involvements in goal from a player with those stats.
Yeah, you would have hoped so, but then he's been fortunate or smart enough to pick up Montella, who's got a good average and obviously 6 goals in his second game. So that was probably one of the few things that he needed to maybe to add to the squad, is that he was struggling before, wasn't he? He was swapping between Henry,
and
not really, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's another tick for Ryan, really, because he saw straight away what he needed, and as soon as he was able to, he's rectified that, and now, he's doing really well.
And now they're heading for the stars. He's up against Kieran, who's who's not pissing about, is he?
No, I'm surprised he didn't just put 3 attackers in those DMC positions as well, and just like chuck Hersey in there and see what he could do. He's going for it.
He's definitely. I think it was, if I recall correctly, I think it was Kieran who ended Alf's very good start to the season with, I think, this formation.
I don't think it was one at the back.
This attacking?
I don't think it was one at the back.
That's a good point by Ian there. Your team is upside down. It does look a little bit like it. Barry Ferguson, key player for tonight. If he plays up to his full potential, then that could be the end of the unbeaten run. But if he doesn't, then it's going to be tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, he's it's just one of those things. Ryan's been on this unbelievable run. He'll probably have 20 shots against this attacking side, not score any goals. Kieran Nicks a 1-0 win or something daft like that. So, but I can't see anything other than a Bolton win.
Barry Ferguson, 15 games, 5 goals and 12 assists.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
I mean, team of the season candidate, maybe.
17 goal involvements in 15 games for your MC. You can't ask any more than that.
No, and
when you look at Raul, who's played in 19 games further forward
and had 6,
and he's only got 6. So
yeah, it's a tough one. I think Oli Sadibi had a pretty good game. Did he not score 2 goals
last week? Yeah, he did. He scored 2. Yeah, against me.
He's out. I think he might
injured or.
I think he may. There's a chance he should have been on the bench. I will say that, but he's got Bernardo Romeo. But either way, with he's got plenty of attacking options anyway.
Oh yeah, massive.
Yeah, Oli Sadibi has been dropped. Yeah, he's definitely dropped. He was definitely not in the starting 11. He could have been on the bench, but that's Oli Sadibi should be starting.
Oh dear, what have
you? Oh dear.
Can't you do? Oh, you've gone into it now.
Yeah. No, I should.
It might be an idea with so many games going on. Instead of clicking straight to the main screen, just go straight onto tactics. And if someone's watching and says, "Oh no, that's wrong," you can quickly change it before the game starts.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that Michael Owen does my my tactical errors judge. Sorry, my team selection errors a favor tonight. I think I've had a couple of them recently. Yeah.
Thing is, though, if Elisa Debut, I suppose you've had to change the whole formation. So I was about to say, if Elisa Debut was in, he should still be in, shouldn't he?
But that's the thing. In order to make sure that I don't make any mistakes when people change their formation, I do clear squad and then I go in and pick each of the individual players. I don't move them around because then I'll lose track of who have done or whatever.
Okay.
So, I mean, apologies again to.
I thought Kieran was one of the ones who sent a tact file.
He does. But if I then load that file up, then all his players from the last game they're all like jumbled up depending on how he's moving the things about. Enough. So when I load his tactic, he's got Maldini up front and things like that. So
Wayne Dade's making an appearance.
And Wayne Dade's in charge of this one, so there could be cards. Anyway, you couldn't see anything about from a Bolton win. I'm hoping for a Michael Owen hat trick to to redeem me. But let's kick this one off and at least hope for an interesting and an exciting game.
Oh, there you go. Look, well, it's not my win.
Early on.
Oh my word,
Barry Ferguson.
What's going on? Still plenty of time.
I mean, it can go either way with that formation, can't it?
It can't, yeah.
And as you said, they're gonna need to take their chances.
Bolton need one back before half time. Oh my word! What?
It's paying off for.
I did see. Honestly, didn't see. I did say that they might. Just play two in there. Has he got any instructions?
Sorry, no, he doesn't have any instructions. But I'm gonna. I am going to take. I mean, this is insane, isn't it?
He's on there. What does he want him to do?
I think it's really for. I think
just
it's really
play two. He said it. Just play two.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I was gonna say I think it's really for me to decide. But if he wants to play
two,
then
moly.
this could go. I was gonna say this could go either way. I mean, that's.
I think he's had a lot of Guinness to leave it like that.
To say just play two.
Goalkeeper's not having a great game,
no,
is he?
It's a goalkeeping shocker. There's nothing really. I mean, this could have been. This could have been either way, to be honest. As a 4 for Casillas. That's the reason for that. I think
Kel getting a 5 as well, which I don't know if he's played many times this season already, but I've never thought he was very good. I don't trust anyone with a sweeper in there.
I mean,
and not being a defender at the same time.
I think he's done okay, and then had a red card. But I mean, that kind of sweeper role, sweeper defender center, I can live with. Sweeper defensive midfielder center, I would never buy a player with that position.
No.
It's like a defender striker center. I would never buy Chris Sutton or whoever has got that.
Or a GK striker. They're the weird ones, aren't they?
Pass on that as well. Everyone, I mean, they've hardly touched the ball, to be fair. But when they
It's
have
great.
done, it's been it's been
Deadly.
quite wild. It's been
Been
quite
a
wild up front. 2 assists for Barry Ferguson and a goal.
and a goal. Yeah, superb.
I mean, there's obviously still all to play for, and he doesn't have a lot of players in in that half of the pitch anymore, Kieran. So
Has Ryan got half-time instructions?
I was going to have a quick look actually and see if any of them does. Ryan does. Let's see. Oh, it's not because they're overworked.
No, I don't think they're trying. They're not
I
trying. I think
think it's gonna.
their gaffer's had a baby and he's not at the game, so they're like, leave it be.
No, I'm actually doing his
Not trying.
instructions. He does
Yeah.
have instructions to put Henry on for the worst performing midfielder if any of them were poor, and Sinoni's got a yellow and a 6. So and he's got to find a way back into this. So we'll kick off the second half and see
This could end
how
3-3. I'm going to call it 3-3.
we run to M's. I did. Just yeah. It's fine. 1-3. You
I'll
think
call
it's
it
gonna
3-3.
3-3? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see what. I mean, Iker Casillas has got to bring his arms with him out for the second
Yeah.
half if. No, they're continuing to create
Oh my
chances and
word. 10 men.
10 men, 4 up. Oh, here's one back for Raul.
Can we do it?
Could it be 4-4? That would
Raul's
be
going to finally turn up.
Wayne Dates dishing out the yellows. There could there could be people coming off here. Oh, so close for Michael Owen. I'm praying for a Michael Owen goal.
That's performance of the week anyway, isn't it?
It's I mean, he's undone by that early complete howler by
Yeah, he's
Casillas.
not helped him out at all, has he? But then you think down to 10 men at half time, should really get on it. But that formation is just wow.
They're just too good.
Don't ask me for anything that involves predictions, Ian. I predict that we get beat in the last game. Let's hope that my predictions stay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Kell,
interesting.
though. Sebastian Kell, Jesus, he's had a mare.
Yeah, who's he with? I mean, Henshaw's is playing. That's not normally playing Sebastian Kehl. I think he normally plays Sinoni down there, and then Veron next to Alex in midfield. I think maybe that.
Yeah.
I think it's because I was thinking, why is he doing that? But it's because Figo is out, and he's been one of the best players all season, obviously for him. So yeah, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't say it before the game, but I had Bolton winning this one, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. When I saw Kit, he's just that formation. I wouldn't even dream of doing that, and it worked perfectly. Bang on, well done, Kieran.
Yeah, well, I don't really know what else to say. I didn't even have a look at the stats for the second half. I mean, yeah, that's 40 points for Churchtown for this season. I mean, they're up there again.
Doing it.
23 and 18 free kicks. I mean, but see the thing again. See
Offsides,
when you said.
Look, I said yeah. When I played against Kieran in the week, I had 16 offsides. I said I've not seen it that high, and then there's another one there.
So he's.
But he didn't get any goals disallowed.
No, I don't think he did. That's the difference. Yes. Wayne Dade was too busy handing out the yellows to have a check for those things.
Told his linesman, keep your flag down. This is on me. He's the Mike Dean of the Super League, isn't he? It's all about him.
Clinical finishing, as Ryan said, from the Churchtown side, it definitely was. I mean, those 2 goals kind of like settled it early on, and then Larsson got the third before Sorochinski got sent off, obviously. So a shocking first half performance from Casillas, which really cost Bolton.
Yeah. Picked it up second half.
Their run there. So yeah.
Wow. What a way.
as Kieran says, there's only 2.5 offsides per striker per half, so it's not that much.
But Ryan will admit that you'd rather get stuffed like that than get champed to lose your winning run.
Yeah. If it's got to come to
an end, you're going to get beat. You may as well get beat, aren't you?
Kind of feel a little bit sorry for Casillas getting that 4 at halftime. What? Oh gosh, I'd clicked on the arrow. I thought he hadn't even touched the ball. I'd pressed the arrow by mistake. Either way, that was Bolton against Churchtown.
Some big high-scoring games, aren't there?
High-scoring games this week, and you know what that means? That means we've only got one game left. Do you want to check quickly?
Yeah, looks about right.
Looks about right for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, crack
Okay,
on.
good. We'll see how you fare against Ardsley. Ardsley, another team who've not had a brilliant away form the whole season,
No.
really.
My first co-coms, I did say, Hodgie got a bit upset that I said I can't see him getting many points away and they'll score. They'll be brilliant at home, and it kind of ended up that way. So, about the only thing I've called right this season, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So interestingly, I checked before the match, and the last time, do you know? Well, you will know the last time you had a clean sheet.
Oh, did I beat Church? Ardsley 0-0.
It was Ardsley 0-0. It was 11 games ago, and it was a
Wow,
0-0 with Ardsley. That was your last clean sheet.
awesome! And I've conceded 3,742 goals since then. I think something.
The only I can say that the only consolation you can have is that Ardsley, apart from one game, are in pretty much the same boat, conceding a
Yeah,
similar number of goals and I
and
think
you
keeping
know
keeping
this has
one
got
sheet.
0-0 written all over it now. Now you've brought that up.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it pans out. You've got the Boomer
I have
back on
tried to
the,
rectify it. This
you've
is me trying to be more defensive.
and you've got Boomer on that left fullback. I think maybe
Yeah,
a good position for him. You've got
wing
Steve
back.
Finnan
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I brought Steve Finnan back in. Brought Vader in, who's I don't like at all, but everyone's cracking on with saying about morale, and Hippie is the only one who was low. So I thought, get rid of him. It's just,
Give your other boy a
yeah,
shot and see what happens.
yeah. Luchin's whinging about not being let go, so I've chucked him in there because Liverani's still injured. Yeah, it's just nothing's gone right this year.
It's been a
Nothing.
tough one. It's been a
It's
tough
been a
one,
tough
but
one to take. But
maybe
planning for next year.
as you're saying, you're not playing the toughest of sides in the last 5 games, so there's perhaps still hope.
Well, they are.
Um,
So they're still they're all still fighting for playoffs, so it's not horrendous. But they're not horrendous. But it is still. I'd prefer to be playing teams around me because obviously, like you say, they're all 6 pointers. If I can beat Ardsley today, that
mhm,
might knock them out of it. But at least I'm pushing up there.
mhm,
So yeah,
yeah. This
this
is
is this is more or less what I've been playing for a couple of years now. Apart from the two strikers up front that Jamie started the season off with at the start,
mhm.
so we know it. I know it works, and he got a good result. Well, he should have had a good result last game out, shouldn't he? But he got champed a bit by Hodds.
Yeah, he definitely did.
So
On the negative for you, he's got both the Morientes and Tristan up front, and it seems to
yeah,
have kind of like coincided when he's been on a slightly better run that he's had those
yeah.
two guys available. So and
It's another
Ibrahim
one of
Saeed he's
those.
brought in as well from.
It's another one of those squads though that you're thinking it should be challenging the top two, three, four places, shouldn't it? So
Yeah, I mean, decent players. I mean, maybe Kenny Saris and the defenders are not the best. I
yeah,
don't know, but
goalkeepers. Like I said, it's toss a coin with any of the goalkeepers on this game.
true.
They can all throw a 5 in. They can all throw a 10 in. It's just one of them.
And he
Just
did, and he did try to go for Rusty at some point this season, and
yeah.
I accidentally put
Sometimes they just don't
Bywater in
work.
for one game as well, but I don't think he
Yeah.
he ever played. But yeah, 680 average. I don't think Kenny Sars is much better. But yeah, yeah, we'll see
Let's have a
how.
look.
So for you, it's going to be a home win. I'll let the comments.
No,
Alf.
no, no. I've not said it's a home win.
Oh no, you said you're going to
No,
lose. That's true.
I'll
That's
lose.
true.
Yeah.
Well,
I've just got one of them feelings that nothing's going right. So why would it start tonight?
right. Well, you've got Alf
So
cheering for you. Alf saying it's a 2-0 for the home side. So,
yeah.
well,
Has Alf not watched us play lately? Because saying that we'll keep a clean sheet is madness.
against Tristan and Morientes. Well, I'll kick
Yeah.
this off, Tim, and we'll see how it
Thanks.
goes. Um, oh,
Don't play it on slow, whatever you do. Jesus. Here we go.
it took 1 minute for Morientes.
There we go. Get in.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, Rossini's pulled one back already. It's not one for the defenders tonight. This one, as you said, there's a lot of high-scoring games.
Yeah.
Uh,
least with them scoring that 2 goals too early, you've got sort of a chance to get back into it.
Yeah, and to be fair, it has been pretty much all Chotley ever since. And there's Rossini with his second, so we're back to level pecking at half time.
There we go. There's always going to be goals in it.
Yeah, I mean, surprising that surprise and surprise. I mean, both teams haven't done particularly well defensively, but the 3 goals in the first 8 minutes is quite a lot.
Goalkeeper, a lot. Brilliant. Thanks, lads.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Roy Carroll's.
Hey! Raider's getting an 8. Well done, son.
Yeah. He's in there, and Rossini getting an 8 as well,
There's
and
not
Boomer
much
getting
coming down the
a
right hand
9.
side, is there? With Romadal and Finnan, nothing coming down the right hand side.
Not really,
It's
no.
all. Baumer getting a 9, 2 assists.
Yeah,
There
so
we
Boomer
go.
enjoying being back on the left wing, crosses in for Rossini, 2 goals for him, so he's enjoying it as well. Your curse with your goalkeepers seem to continue, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to address that apart from
No,
buying new
I've got a
goalkeepers.
clue. You say all our coaches are really good.
Apparently, I'll double check who's on
My
goalkeeping
goalkeeper's
coaching.
training on fitness or something. There's just something I just don't get it.
I mean, is it the 4th goalkeeper you've tried?
This is the 4th, yeah. All the rest have been.
Because there was
And then
Peluka, who wasn't good.
Luka was awful.
Frey wasn't good. Westerveld had like 4s and 5s, and now Roy Carroll.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. And Canizares somehow Canizares managed to stop 1 shot, and he gets a 7 instead. So, but I suppose he's done a bit of passing as well. Yeah, kind of a decent-ish performance from some of the RC Celtic players, but a little bit like yourself, trouble with conceding.
But I don't know what to say if I'm honest, Martin.
Well,
Knew there was going to be goals, didn't there? Let's just see if we can entertain.
At least you're not running constantly offside in this one.
Yeah, that is one.
That's one positive to take for
One
it.
positive to take.
Fingers crossed that Roy Carroll does like Canizares and performs a little bit better in his second half for you, and we'll see what happens if you can keep Morientes and Seedorf at bay. I think that's Rossini back in the top of the top scorer chart.
Yeah,
probably
17 should be
maybe.
now.
So,
17, yeah.
But let's kick off the second half and see what it brings. I mean,
Oh, look at that!
Peter Luchin wants a part of the action, or wants to put himself in the shop window. I mean, they're still a dangerous side with Tristan and Morientes, obviously, but it seems that you have slightly more of the ball anyway.
There's nothing. Oh,
I think that was Boomer. I think that was Boomer's 3rd assist to Rossini.
That's 4.
Right. Well, that's.
I'm still not 100% certain we can win this.
That's and here's life kicking Archie straight in the balls. Another injury for Seedorf. I think he's had a couple this season, so that's not gone particularly well. Who's trying to mark Boomer? That's what I want to know. And failing miserably.
Oladenka, no. Who's on his right hand side? Zari.
Ah.
Bloody hell, we needed that, boys.
Weight off your shoulder, that. Okoronkwo doing having a disaster. Obviously trying to mark Rossini.
Yeah. Oh, Baumer.
Yeah, he likes that left wing back. It's like is it C. Roberto, who you say can play everywhere, but probably performs best on that DML thing as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, same. Baumer's been playing inside mainly because I didn't have anyone else I trusted in there. But he's
holy shit, he's got good stats as well.
He is, yeah, he's superb, really good. But last couple of games, not great. He's come back and done a bit. My heart's pounding. This game, everyone says it's just unbelievable. It's such a rush. I'll not be able to sleep now. I'll have to go and read a book for 3 hours, try and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Or get Palmer to talk me through his game or something.
Yeah. Roy Carroll redeemed himself in the second half, getting back up to a 6.
Alf's offering 5 of his players for Rossini. Yeah, every time I've gone to him for a player, he's already sold it to Ian
BTEC,
at BTEC. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see Rossini back in the goals in the Super League. Obviously, it was he was the guy that was missing from last version, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, when it very first got put out, when Alan did it, I made a team of 24 players. I made a squad of 24 players that weren't in it, and the very first name I put in it was Rossini, because he's just like I've always played. I like playing one up front, and as a cheap option, when you don't get your Shevchenkos and players like that, and the fact that he's Italian as well. So if you're in a league with work permit issues or too many foreigners, straight for him. And sometimes he's not even getting a game at Atalanta. You've got like Sardati and Comandini keeping him out of the team, and with his pace, his acceleration, jumping, strength, everything that you want, determination. It's just. To be fair, Alf's giving me, I'd do this for Rossini, that for Rossini. I got him from Alf at the start of the season.
Right. Well, you should have maybe kept a hold of him, especially considering how his
Alf
strikers
would be like,
have been performance.
I was like, straight away, the first two players I went for was Liverani from Devils, who I knew he'd swap straight away for Cambiasso because he put him as one of the main men, and Rossini from Alf because I knew that I sort of had an inkling he didn't know much about him, so I went straight after him.
Yeah, well, it worked out for you tonight anyway, so I'm sure you'll be pleased. I mean, perhaps not pleased with conceding 2 goals. I mean, that's another non-clean sheet.
Hey,
but,
look, I'm not expecting to keep a clean sheet.
but
let's just try and score more than everyone else.
A 5-2 win after being 2 goals down after 7 minutes.
I was kind of expecting us to not get that back with the way things are going, if I'm honest.
Either way, you'll definitely take that. And who got the last assist? Echeverria actually managed to get back on form a little bit, and Mourinho of all people picking one up as well. But I think we need to have a look. My goodness,
look at those 3-5-2s. That's
3-5-2s. That's pretty crazy. But let's have a look at what everyone's hanging around for. I think is the table.
And I've not
we've got a couple of queues now. See that,
I'm only
boys?
3. Yeah.
Guaranteed playoff spot for Valen and Bolton Phoenix.
Yeah.
3-point gap to Churchtown now for Bolton. I mean,
that was a big result for Massive. That was
going from a 16-game unbeaten run to being 3 points ahead of third. I mean, it's still all to play for, and I think he's got away games coming up. Let's have a look. He's away to Ardsley. Oof. And he's got Midlothian away. So
I don't mind if Hodgie wants to win, but I could do with him beating Midlothian. If I'm honest.
I mean, if you're looking at it, it's to be honest with tonight's result, it's only really made that kind of run for the 5th and 6th place. I mean, now with Astor kind of losing here and all the teams like you winning and Midlothian. Did Midlothian win? No, they didn't.
Beat.
With you winning and getting into the mix
apart from Craig winning, everything went right for me tonight. Really, Hooligans got beat, Midlothian got beat.
Astor got beat. They didn't. They could have drawn. That would have been, the one of Parma.
I'm not really
Parma and Astor. Or you're just looking at 6th?
Astor was too far away from me, I think. So I'm fighting for that 6th place. It's a good battle though. 4 teams within 3 points of each other.
Yeah, definitely, keeping it exciting until the end of the season, and lots of goals in this round. Quick look at the top scorer stats before we go. I mean, I thought Eversand was going to pinch it, but Rossini is well ahead now. 19 for him.
But it's like he plays up there on his own, doesn't he? I think he's the only one up there who plays on his own. So.
Yeah, that is true. And Robbie Keane that doesn't even play up front, but is still getting the goals for some reason. And yeah, Kluivert for Swindon Devils on 12 goals now as well. Yeah, that couple tonight. Yeah. So good result. A couple of surprises and a couple of big results for this evening. Standout result for you? It's got to be Churchtown away, hasn't it?
Massive result. Yeah, but like you say, it's a massive result, but. It is. I keep saying massive with his massive in his name as well, but it's a big result for him because now he's only 1 win away from Bolton, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got to have to keep.
He's got a chance to get in that top 2. And like I say, the top 2, you want it. You just want it. You need that top. It just makes life so much easier.
Kieran's got. I mean, maybe it's not great for him because he's a
He
very good
prefers to
away
be
side.
away.
He's
Yeah,
got 3 home games. He's got Astor, BTEC, and
I don't
Ardsley at
think
home.
I don't think the bottom two, BTEC haven't got a point away from home.
And Ardsley just lost
Ardsley have
5-2.
got a couple away, only got a few points away from home. So they're
Yeah,
two ideal games for him at the end of the season. There, to be fair.
yeah. And if we look at Valens run in as well, he's got 3 away games. He's away to Sloth, BTEC, and Hornets. That's a tricky run in.
No,
I mean,
I could have had it. I could have done with him having Hornets at home. I think it is all down to the end, isn't it?
yeah, it will. I think there'll still be. I'm willing to bet that there'll still be something to play for on the last day of the season. I think.
Alf's asking who he swapped for Rossini. Shall I tell him?
Yeah, you can do.
Juninho.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a little bit painful. That's a little bit painful after tonight's performance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
sorry, Alf.
guys, we've done nearly 2 hours. I hope you liked the little kind of like chat. I don't know if it makes any difference to have the chat bar on the YouTube screen or not, but for the guys who are maybe not chatting so much that just want to see it, then you can see that. And plus, it means that it records it along with the stream, I think. So then you can like scroll it back and you can see what people have said or anything like that. So, and then
Fifey wants to see the bottom of the table, mate.
oh gosh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He wants to see. You said he'd take it and that'll do him for the rest of the season. He wanted to see it if he can catch slots.
Yeah. Well, 7 points. Has he got sloths? He says earlier that he's got the sloths to play next week.
Well, he's got
Oh,
Hooligans
2 weeks.
first,
2 weeks.
Hooligans, Sloths, and BTEC. So yeah,
Yeah.
well.
Two
It's
time next.
it's
Two
Hooligans
games.
next for
Fifey.
you,
Two
Five.
games.
Yeah. So
So.
yeah, the Great Escape is on. We'll have a look. Anyway, Tim, thank you very much for joining. It was
Pleasure. Really
pleasure
enjoyed
as
it.
usual to have a good chat about the individual games. It's funny how we have the completely different pace depending on who's on the comms. So yeah, definitely interesting and much appreciated. Thanks everyone for watching, and I don't think we'll do a Wednesday game, but I'll get back to you with when the next game's going to be. Take care. PAX will be out tomorrow probably. Good night.